Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today, look at my hands. I've been dyeing yarn and they're a mess, so I'm just getting that out of the way right now in case you want to judge me. Get that judgment out of the way. So today we are working on a very easy shawl pattern, and you can adapt this to, if you follow, I have a mesh tutorial for like a square mesh pattern and or a rectangle. You can adapt that and use this, or I might just have to show you in a different video how to do this, but this is basically just a puff stitch mesh shawl, and I did this as a gradient shawl for well, I'm going to donate this to a shelter with a little care package for someone to have something special, because why not? But yes, it's a very easy one row repeat, so it's so easy that you will be able to work this up in no time. So we can get right to it. You can use whatever kind of yarn you want. I used cotton for this one. It's light and airy. You can use a thicker yarn and just use the appropriate hook size. Just to show you, I'm just going to use some silk and merino here, and just so you can see, I'm trying to find the end of the yarn. Okay, and I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook, and for the shawl that I made with the cotton, I used a 3 millimeter hook. So yeah, just use whatever hook is appropriate. And look at this yarn that I made for, this is for the monthly subscribers, and I'm just showing it off. It has nothing to do with this tutorial. So there it is. Anyways, it's based on Constantine. If you know anything about history, the Roman Emperor Constantine's mother, and this is Helena, so this is based on Helena. Anyways, you can join our yarn club and learn about history and Black history and creativity and get some beautiful yarn and some patterns in the process. And if not, let's get to this tutorial. So if you know how to do a magic ring, you're going to start with a magic ring. Now, if you do not know how to do a magic ring, you can start with just do a slip knot and do 4 chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just slip into the very first chain that you did, and you make a little circle, and so you're going to be working into the middle of that. But for others, if you can, you do a magic ring and just pull up a loop, and then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and into that magic circle, or into your circle that you've made with your chains, you're going to do a double crochet. So that's yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through again, just like that. And then you're going to chain 2 and then do 2 more double crochets into that circle, and then chain 2 again, and then 2 more double crochets, and then chain 2 and 2 more double crochets. So that is your foundation row. Just slipped out there. So once you have all of that done, you can pull your loop tight, and that's the beginning of your shawl. So for every row that you do from now on, you will always start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you start every row. And then turn your work, and then into the chain 2 space that you've made, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets into that same chain 2 space from below, just like that. And so that is going to create the little border on the side, so that works, so that gives shape to your project. Very easy. So we've got that side of the border done. Now this is basically row 1, so we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then jump over to the final, because you'll have 2 chain spaces, so you're going into the final one here, and you'll do a double crochet and another double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that chain 2 space from below. So your project will look something like this, and it will have the big gap here. Okay, so we are done row number 1. So as always, chain 3 to start a new row. This is row 2, and then you are going to do the same border. So you go into the chain 2 space and do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So that's how you start every row. And that's how you end every row as well. Okay, and now we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then into this chain 5 space, we're going to do a puff stitch. So I'll show you how to do that. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 loops on your hook. So yarn over and then pull through all of them except for the first one here. So you'll have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through, and you seal that in place just like that. Now if you have thinner yarn, you can make your puff stitches a little bit puffier and bigger by doing a yarn over 4 times instead of 3. But because this is thicker yarn and it's DK, I'm doing a puff stitch with 3 yarn overs instead of 4. Okay, so now we will chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you end your row already. So you jump over to this chain 2 space and do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And that is row 2 done. And that is basically all you need as you go forward and up. So let's do row 3. So that's chain 3, turn your work, and into this chain 2 space do 2 double crochets, chain 2, okay, and then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into this chain 5 space you do a puff stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all of those loops except for the first one. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull through both of those. Then you chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, jump over to the next chain 5 space and do another puff stitch. So just yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, and then pull through all of those, and then yarn over just to seal and lock that puff stitch in place, and then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then jump over to the chain 2 space in your final border, and you do your 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and that is row 3 done, and it's starting to take some shape. So I'll do a couple more rows with you. As always, chain 3, turn your work, go into the next chain space, chain 2 space, and do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then if you remember, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you do your puff stitch into this chain 5 from below. So pull up a loop 3 times, pull through, and then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the next puff stitch into the next chain 5 space from below. And then chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do another puff stitch into the next chain space below. And then chain 5. And then you jump over to the final space, chain space, and do your border, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And so that is basically the repeat pattern, and you just continue to grow your project. So when you're done your borders, when you're done this, the first border, always chain 5 and then do your puff stitch. And just on the end as well, when you're done your last puff stitch, you chain 5. So I'll do one more row with you. So let's chain 3, turn your work, Now into the chain 2 space, do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. And like I said, after you've done your border, you chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do a puff stitch into the chain space, or the chain 5 below, just like that. Lock it in place, and then chain 5, and then jump over to the next chain 5 space from below, do another puff stitch, lock it in place, chain 5, jump over to the next chain 5 space and do a puff stitch, lock it into place, and then chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, jump over to the next chain 5 space from below and do a puff stitch, lock it into place, and then you end with the chain 5, 3, 4, 5, before finishing off with your border. So again, 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space, and then chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. So that is all you need for this pattern. You can see it's growing. When you're done, if you want, you can, if you know how to block your work, you can block and your project and give it more shape, and it will become more airy that way as well. You can make it, you can alter it and make the chains chain 4 to close it in a little bit more if you want it a little bit less airy. And you can also make the puffs a little bit thicker or larger as well, but that's all there is to this. It's an easy project that you can do while you're trying to relax, just watching TV or listening to music. And it goes a long way. It works up really quickly. So this is something that you can do if you're short on time and you want to do something. And you can make shawlettes with this, with one skein as well. So yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. You're done. You're on your way. Have fun with this. Make beautiful things, and we'll see you next time. And also, guess what color I was dyeing. Yeah, you can see it was blue and blue. So we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.